Hello and welcome to WTCL round 14 of Bahrain. We are here for the season finale, which already looks kind of decided, but everything can happen in WTCL. The
So,
lights go out.
of course, EnVy pretty much, well, I think they are actually confirmed champions, but there we go. Balajin, for pole, gets away well ahead of Mendes, who's going to send it down the inside into turn one, you feel. As we head through turn one here in the lights at Bahrain, Mendes going to go all the way with Balajin. Balajin will win that battle for Ray Mendes, then Munat, then the Moore and Hackers want to get your top 5 there, for a through by Firmino and Boucher on English and Royal with Winfield. Want to get your top 10. Balajin, who gets away from the line well, and he leads the two EnVys of Mendes ahead of Munat. Then the Moore in fourth, Hackerson's fifth, then Firmino, Boucher and Lingvist, completing out your top 8. So we swing through here.
When the zero is close.
Yep. Top 5 separated by less than a second. As we head through the middle sector. It's a long middle sector at Bahrain. I can see Lingvist is fighting with Rono in the background there, but Balajin leading. Mendes is in second place and is going to have a little look there, but not directly enough. Munat's also involved in this fight, and these three are just beginning, ever so slightly at this stage, to just pull away from the rest. Although the Moore has still got a chance, as does Hackerson, at this particular stage. So we head towards the end of the middle sector now. Balajin leading. As Cordova,
second.
it's going to be a third DNF in a way for Louis Cordova, as he's going to be retiring from the race, stuck in second. So, double DNF at Malaysia, of course, for Cordova, and he's not even going to complete the first lap here in Bahrain. So, the Audi DNF curse is back.
Already here from 5th to 3rd. And then to second. He's stuck in second forever.
And then it just wouldn't shift back up. Well, that's Cordova out the race, so Shenzhen's recent issues continue. Look at how stacked up the top 7 are. They've pulled away from Lingvist, who's currently having a battle with Rodor and Nikolaev. That Audi just lacking a bit of pace towards the end of the season. But there we go. Oh, Boucher's going to have a look at Firmino. The looks of it. Hackerson actually dropped behind both of them, so did he make a mistake?
Yeah.
Possible. It can happen. We did see it in qualify. Yeah, ooh.
Wide.
Got a bit offline, bit off centre, and then lost the car.
Yeah, now even less chance for Santos to win the title.
Anyway, Boucher is actually still behind Firmino.
Well,
what's going on here? We're going 3 wide. Lingvist is also getting involved in this, as is Rodor. So, 5-way car. Well, there's a massive fight going on right now for, what is this, 5th place? Lingvist has got ahead of Hackinson. He's going to go side by side with Firmino. So, Boucher even, as in turn 1. Now, Lingvist is sending it down the inside of Hackinson, of all people. And we got Balajin and Mendes for the lead. They've both got off, so Munat leads.
What happened to the leaders?
Balajin was leading Mendes, and then whoa! Mendes just couldn't slow the car down. They both come together, and then that's when we saw them joining on. They were effectively going 4 wide as they rejoined the track. And that's carnage. And actually, in all of this, the man who's benefited the most is Osten Lingvist, who's gone from 8th to 3rd in the space of half a lap. So Osten Lingvist benefits massively. So now we've got a 2-way fight for the win between Munat and the Moore, and then this absolute train for 3rd, which goes from Lingvist all the way down to Nikolaev and Winfield, who are fighting it out for 10th and 11th, although that little incident there might cost them any chance of getting into that particular fight. Well, drama already in Bahrain. We said it would happen, and it has happened. Anyway, look at this train for 3rd. They're all stacking up, because these lot are all at it. Mendes is down in P9 after the incident, Balajin 5th, so not ideal for Mendes, but he's trying to get himself ahead of Linda Rodor here for P8. Who's been quietly improving in the last couple of races, Rodor. Shown some good pace, and definitely has proven why she's at Cosworks next season. Now, what's happened here to Licksteiner? So he was at the back of the field with Babineau. So let's have a look. So he goes down the inside of Babineau for 25th. Okay, hang on, actually. We're going to go back even further. So, a bit of fighting there. Perez has dropped back. So not sure what happened to Perez at some point, but you can see that happened. So like sort of dropped out the back. Probably made a mistake actually on the turn before the tight little hairpin, and then you come onto the back straight actually. But either way, there's you. There's Betsky, who having started 26th is up to 10 places on the start. Sharma and Thompson, who started in the back row, were currently 20th and 21st, following their inability to settle up in qualifying due to mechanical problems. But Munat leading has got about a 7/10 gap to the mower. Lindqvist is third, once again showing a lack of pace as the two Santoses and Balajin are set to dual battle. Well, Boucher lost a bit of time there. Fabino's fighting with Rodel in the background there. And Rodel's actually going to go for the move, but Boucher going down the inside of Balajin into the final corner. Oh, bit of contact! They both got Balajin half spun it. We've got the other Vittorio and Fabino off in the background as he was fighting with Rodel. In fact, Rodel's also dropped back, so I think they both went wide. So, there we go then. Munat's beginning to pull away from the mower. We're focused on this battle though. As Hackinson looks set to make the move on Austin Lindqvist for third, and they've got a mile clear of Boucher following that little incident. But down into turn one, Lindqvist still ahead. Mendez said to get down the inside of turn one on Boucher. Trying to go right round the outside. Boucher stays ahead. Balajin fancies his chances down the inside. Nikolaev's getting drawn into this battle as well. So we now arrive at this little straightaway here. Boucher fifth. Mendes is going to get ahead of Balajin. You'd fancy him too anyway down the inside, and that's easy enough for him. Well, actually goes wide and off the track. Wide. Mendes broke himself trying to make the overtake, and now he's dropped behind Madison down to 13th. So Mendes, after starting the race second, is down 11 places. So EnVy are throwing it away slightly, although Munat's still leading. So at least there's that. This win would also probably secure Munat the championship. Because Boucher went a little bit wide there. Yeah. Got a couple of cars fighting all over the place, and actually GU in 15th is not a million miles out of this fight either, but there we go then. I remember we still got pit stops to come, so all this bagging and barging and going wide or whatever and collecting dust could just prove significant in the pit stops. And Hankinson's closing up to Lindqvist all the time.
Well, currently Munat will win the driver's title, while EnVy will be the
I mean, that's champion. The most predictable outcome ever.
And projects are
basically confirmed anyway before the weekend even started, but well, unless Munat blows up here, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time EnVy looks set to win the driver's title and then threw it all the way in Bahrain. Of course, Cashel writes back to season 2 of Wolfgang Weissen, who of course will look to win his second, well, he'll look to win the ITCL drivers tomorrow. We come here for the ITCL race, but Hackinson on the back of Lindqvist, and not to be there for Hackinson. So across the line, and well, Munat leads by 1.6 seconds over the mower, then 2 seconds back to Lindqvist, then Hackinson. See a bit of fighting in the background there. Hackinson, what do you got it? We've got one of the Drakes making a move, it's Goldschmidt. He's actually just behind Rodel. So Goldschmidt's had a good race, he started the race 18th, he's up 8 places, taking advantage of some of the carnage in front of him perhaps. As we head into turn 1, any overtakes can be made here. Little look by Winfield late on Goldschmidt. Bit of a late one here. She could pull this one off. She goes down the outside, but not to be there for Saffron Winfield. She stays P11. Still stuck behind the German Sebastian Goldschmidt. Then Madison and Mendes. Then Ezio, who rounds out your points. Then you and Betsky, the two Alphas fighting for 15th place. They're followed by Kennedy and Crowell and Singh and Thompson. And then Sharma, we've got one of the Tabergians putting out for a move there. It's Kennedy on Betsky. So former Platinum going up against a current technically Stoffel driver. Bit of old rivalry there from season 3, but Kennedy and Betsky fighting, and Betsky's going to win the battle on this particular occasion. There's quite a little bit of contact there between Kennedy and Crown. They come wheel to wheel, and they bang wheels, and a bit of contact as well there between Kennedy as he gets knocked into Betsky. He's going to drop behind Crown now. He might even drop behind his teammate Wibbick Singh for 8th, down to 19th perhaps, as we head through here, but not to be foreseen. Well, race seems to have at least stagnated at the front of the field, with Hankinson closing down Lindqvist. The mower not really close enough to either Lindqvist behind or Munat ahead to threaten anyone. Boucher's got a nice little gap on Balajin. Isn't really close enough to Hackinson, so there we go. We are on lap number 4, about to start lap number 5. Interesting to see if Hackinson gets ahead, but he does not.
Vincent closing.
Have a look if he goes to the move into turn 1 here. He'd probably like to put out a bit earlier if he's going to do this. Down into turn 1, and he doesn't go for the move on Linguist. Fabino all over the back of Nikolaev. As we see Winfield going for the dive and completely outbraking herself into turn 1 on Goldschmidt. And she's going to rejoin side by side with Ezio. And she drops behind, Hughes up into the points. And then Madison.
Oh, one of the Tiber
Something's happened to Kennedy. Yeah, I was about to say. Oh, Asachenkov as well. Okay, so Kennedy's out of the race, but what happened to Asachenkov? So he already had damage to the front left, and then he's going down the end zone in Jarbo and DA and just couldn't slow the car down. There you can see Kennedy pulling over to the tyre. As Asachenkov goes into the wall. What's the Kennedy? Well, the car has blown up. Kennedy's out. Blown up. DNF. So the last feature race of the season, and it will result in a DNF for Archie Kennedy.
Kennedy went from 6th gear to 2nd. Might have killed the engine.
Well, there you go. Kennedy's out. Sachenkov's in the wall. So there you go. Well, Sachenkov's in the wall, but he's got it going again. But he'll be hopelessly detached and with damage to the front of the car as well. Doesn't look like Asachenkov will be finishing any higher than last of the finishers if he finishes. So he rejoins. You can see the damage to the front of that works. Of course, Asachenkov's not going to be at the team next season. I don't think. So there we go. Munat leads the Mura. Actually, Lindqvist has closed in on the Mura a bit. So that's an interesting development. I'm sure if the Mura made a mistake somewhere or what, but there we go. Boucher's also just beginning to get dragged into this fight a little bit. Here. So we head up the hill. And this has just slightly shrugged off Hackerson going up the hill. So we head through here.
Yep, it's bigger now.
Yeah, you can see the Nomura slightly closer, but not significantly. But the gap was about 2 seconds, it's now 1.2, so there we go. You can see Boucher and Hackerson, the two Santoses. Mendes is down in 14th, so this is a potential opportunity for them, if Munat blows up, to maybe turn this into a title fight. Winfield going down the inside and Ezio at the final corner, and they both got wheels, and GU deciding he's going to go all kamikaze mode straight into the back of them, and they're going to go onto the straight with Winfield ahead of Ezio and you, but that's going to cost them a bit of time in the pit stops with the damage. See a couple of cars fighting in the background there, but nothing significant. As we head down towards turn 1, is anyone going to make a move in the battle for P11? Perhaps a late one by Ezio or you into turn 1, but none of them think about the move. We've got Krause and Thompson about to go 3 wide into turn 1 here. And unsurprisingly, that doesn't end particularly well for one of them. And the answer here was Vivek Singh. And then he comes on 3 wide with Perez and Jarbo. And again loses out. So Singh goes from potentially nabbing himself P17 to dropping down to 23rd in the space of 2 corners. And that's not good news for him. As we've got Sermon pitting already. He might be stuck in the gate. Asachenkov also pitting, so it would be early for the pit stops, but there we go, I suppose. Perhaps some damage for them. Oh, Sermon.
Go back now.
No, Sermon's got damage, which has been a mistake. Let's have a look. Goes down. Perez, and oh, he gets tagged by Singh. And that's why he went, and then Lixar smashes into the side of him. So
the car seems fine.
As if the pit window might be open, or I don't know, but him and Asachenkov are the only 2 drivers pitting.
Well, Asachenkov got damage, I guess that's why.
So, question is, will Munat win the race? It looks likely, but I don't know with these things, because Lindqvist looked likely to win at Spain, and then the pit stops came, and he dropped down to 3rd, so you never really know with these things.
the Santos are stuck behind Lindquist. The title is getting away with every meter.
Have a look then. They come across the line. Yeah, the move's closed in on Munat.
Yeah, so they're
So,
not far off Munat.
yeah. I mean, we have seen it is quite an easy track to make a mistake out here in Bahrain, so perhaps that's why. But anyway, down to turn one, Lingers still holding up Hackinson and Boucher. Then Balajin. Oh, we got a dive bomb there by Rodel. Down the inside of Firmino, and they both go off. Rodel probably at fault for that one. It didn't really look on. Goldschmidt gets past both of them. So Rodel sacrifices. Oh, we got yellow flags. Ezio's gone off at turn
Someone
one.
was in the... I think someone was also involved with Ezio.
Ezio went off at turn one and he drops down out of the point. So
I think Ezio punted Winfield out. Yeah.
Whoa! And that's them both round. So Ezio will get a penalty and possibly Rodel as well. Winfield is sitting duck there and she's down, dropped down. This is actually pushed Betsky up. Whereas Mendes is getting overtaken by Betsky. Madison's going to try and get ahead of Mendes as well. So has Mendes got a problem? Or is he just slow?
I think he needed to leave because of Ezio joining.
Possibly just, lost a bit of time. Anyway, Rodal's pitting, so alternate strategy there for Drake, but that's nothing new.
Spamming and pitting. Oh, yeah, that's all.
Let's see. So he crossed the line. Well, to go another match straight. Yeah, Lingers has closed up to the Muller. That's an interesting development. So now we got a four-way fight for second one, but the pit stop's around the corner. Do you want to risk the overtake and take damage, or how do you want to play this one? Well, the Muller's now got away from Lingers, so that answers Lingers' dilemma. But of course, Lingers could still get kamikazed by Hackers or Boucher here, so he's not necessarily safe either. Down into the final corner, Hackerson goes to the move down the inside. It's been going for a while, and that's actually pushed them both off, and Boucher gets ahead of both of them. So all that happened there is Boucher and Lingers effectively swap places. Now Balashin's going to get ahead of Lingers. So Lingers is going to go from 3rd to 6th in the space of a corner because of Hackinson. So nothing new there for Bahrain standards. So Balashin pits. It's as if, Munat's pitting. The Moa's not. Boucher is. I don't know what Hackinson was attempting there, but it was something. And Balashin and Lingers. Rodal pits. So there you go. Lingers isn't pitting. Nikolaev isn't. Goldschmidt is. Firmino is. Yu is somehow in the top 10, he's pitting. Same. Betsky's 11th, not pitting. Madison is. Mendes is. Winfield isn't. Ezio isn't. Thompson isn't. Okay, so a lot of these drivers towards the back of the field are going to go one extra lap. Apart from Singh, who's pitting. Avenues in the pits, yeah. So a lot of the drivers further down the field and a couple up the front are taking a alternate strategy. Don't know what Balajin was trying there.
Inside.
And he... they make a bit of contact, usually off the corner better. Balajin was off the corner better. It always looked to me like Balajin was trying. I don't know what he was doing there. Maybe defending the inside. It's interesting, but it paid off, I guess, if it was defending.
But they lost a second with this battle.
Now they might actually be under threat from Nikolaev.
And I think maybe if Rodel can put in a really good lap on the fresh tires, I think Rodel maybe, well, not ahead of them, but right behind them.
Logic would dictate if you pit later, you're probably more at risk. But you never really know with this series.
Munat will come in, and Namura will be leading the race. The two Santos are in. And that's yeah, Lindqvist and Nikolaev. Turn 1.
Kalea fighting. Let's have a look down into turn 1, and Lindqvist stays ahead. Just on Nikolaev, although they have lost a lot of time doing that. Betsky, oh, what happened? Yeah, so
He
Hughes
was
coming in
splitting.
pits, and unfortunately that kind of screwed up Betsky due to no fault of her own. So the drivers who will probably all be pitting this lap are the Moa, Lindqvist, Nikolaev, Betsky, Crowd, Thompson.
Roda posted the fastest second sector.
Yep. Rodal's going well on these pressure tyres, and I did say logic would dictate the further you go, the more at risk you are. So here comes the two Santoses with Boucher and Hackerson, then Goldschmidt. Where's Rodal as she comes down the straight?
There is Roda.
Here's Rodal, and she's behind the two Santoses, but
Just
she is ahead of her
behind
teammate.
Hackinson.
So she's ahead of Goldschmidt.
Roda
It's
already
good news
done
for
it.
her.
I think.
Then Firmino, then Madison.
Yeah, he's.
Balagin's lost out. He's now dropped out behind Madison. So the two Pretorias have got work to do. You also appears to have lost out. I mean, been up there in the top 10. He's now dropped out down in 22nd. There we go. Ezio under pressure from Thompson at the end of this first stint. So both Shrewsbury's and both Stoffels went longer by the looks of it, so that'll be interesting for them. Munat's already ahead of Licksteiner, despite Licksteiner not pitting, which explains how quick the EnVy is and how slow Licksteiner is, but there we go. So, what's
Yeah,
happening?
Licksteiner actually retired.
Oh, Licksteiner's actually just retired.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
an engine
Oh.
issue.
Yep, engine's gone for Licksteiner. So, a bit like most of the season, it's just kind of gone out with a whimper. So here we go then. The Mullers in, they're all coming in. Unless, like, someone's going to try a nose stop, which I think is actually impossible. Unless, like, you crawl around in first gear the entire time. So there we go. Jarbo's in. Yeah, so Munat will lead. Unless someone gets an absolute rocket pit stop and just doesn't fuel, Munat will lead.
Oh, Nomura is out of the pit, so.
Well, hang on, the Muller's coming out the pit lane.
Yeah, but.
Oh, and nearly makes contact with his teammate. Jarbo! Oh, he's coming in. Okay, so Munat leads. Who's going to be second? Boucher second. Nomura third. Just behind Boucher. And actually makes a mistake at turn 1. Then Hackinson. Then comes the two Drakes. Lindqvist rejoined just ahead of Firmino. So, didn't actually go as badly as we might have predicted. But the Drakes definitely paid off there. Then Nikolaev. Madison completes the top 10. Balagin's 11th. But who's going to come out P12? That is the question here.
It will be Mendez and then.
Betsky,
You,
I
I
guess.
think.
Yu's going to be joined 13th. Betsky is 14th. 15th place will be close between.
Babin
We'll have to go to Babinu or Thompson. That's going to be close as we come out the pit. They're actually going side by side here. And Thompson's ahead. So Thompson's 15th ahead of Babinu. And then Zane, Krell, Ezio, Perez, Sermon, Winfield, Jarmo, and DA, and Azachenkov.
Oh,
As you might. Oh,
someone crashed into Winfield.
now what's going to be interesting is, you know, we've only got, what, just over 2 laps to go. Are those who came in later going to have that much of a pace advantage compared to those who pit earlier? That's the risk and reward you've got to calculate here. Because whilst Rodal pitting earlier might have benefited her in the short term, as we come towards the end of the race, you know.
Well, Lindqvist is 5 seconds behind Roda.
What?
And there will be 2 laps left.
We'll see. You never really know. Rodal could blow up. So yeah, come
So
for the
was
final
English.
corner. Rodel just behind Hackinson for now. So Munat leads Boucher and Nomura. Then Hackinson and Rodel.
Here comes
Rodel
Rodel
going down the
Hackinson.
inside Hackinson. It's a bit out of shape under braking, but she is ahead. Goes a little bit wide though. And Hackinson now.
Got 4.
Yep. So Rodel's up to 4th. Goldschmidt's now on the back of Hackinson. That allowed Lindqvist to sneak a little bit closer. So how much that will help us the next is not really important. Either way, good race for Drake again. With Rodel and Goldschmidt.
And Drake won the last
Both
2
of them
races.
have really, Drake have really just stepped it up on the performance front towards the end of the season. You know, they won, I think, both races at Japan.
Yeah.
They've looked quick weekends before that. I mean, they've just really stepped it up towards the end. It seems Rodel gets out of shape there. Hackinson might have a look down the inside, but he doesn't. He just saw there Rodel's back end just slightly slipped away from her. She came towards the hairpin and she had to correct that, or else Hackinson could have literally sent it down the inside there and taken back 4th. She kept it calm and composed, and she stays P4. And Hackinson and Goldschmidt, for the time being anyway. Up the road from these, you've got Boucher and Nomura fighting, although they're about half a second apart. Also we'll have a look down the inside and Rodel into the final corner, but looks unlikely, but you never really know. Stays behind for now.
This is the last lap of the 4th season WTCL. And Munat and EnVy Racing are a lap away from winning both titles.
The only way Munat doesn't win the title is if he either blows up or somehow Boucher closes up 7 seconds and overtakes in 1 lap. I mean, Boucher would have to. Boucher would probably have to cut the entire first sector to get close to Munat.
Boucher need to take the oval layout.
I just take the oval layout, go right around the outside. It doesn't look likely.
And we will essentially do the same as Duffer did in season 3, winning both titles. Yeah, rather than overtaking Munat, Boucher is under pressure of Nomura for 2nd place. And also, this is important because I think that Esther could go after Shrewsbury for 3rd in the standing.
Oh, slight mistake there from Boucher.
Nomura.
Oh, Nomura goes for down the inside. This could be significant in the fight for 3rd in the championship. Boucher closes the door. Nomura comes back down the inside in the final sector. And he's ahead. Nomura takes 2nd. Not necessarily. Hackinson's still ahead of Goldschmidt. But yeah, Esther only 14 points behind Shrewsbury. And in fact, Pretoria have really fallen off. They were actually only 19 points behind Shrewsbury, but...
And Bahrain was on pole.
Firmino have just completely fallen apart. Munat comes on the final corner, and I mean, in the most surprising plot twist of all time, EnVy have won the title. I mean, no one's really been able to predict this the entire season. I mean, you know, it's been completely unpredictable. Boucher got back ahead of Nomura. Now, that is actually unpredictable. In fact, they're actually dragging in the 2 Drakes and Hackinson on the one towards the line. Another lap, and that could have been an absolutely epic battle, but Boucher takes 2nd ahead, Nomura, Rodel, Hackinson, Goldschmidt. Lindqvist comes across the line 7th for Shrewsbury. Then came Firmino. Then Nikolaev. Madison running out the top 10, so Madison actually finally does something. With Balashin crossing the line 11th. That probably takes Pretoria out the fight for 3rd. Then Mendes in 12th. Giu will cross the line 13th. And Betsky looks like she'll get the last point unless she makes a bad mistake in the final corner, which she doesn't. So Thompson will stay 15th. So no extra point for Shrewsbury. Balajan does get 2 points for fastest lap though. So maybe Pretoria aren't completely out the fight for third. Then came, well, you can see here the two Stoffels tipped as the title favourite, coming home
Oh,
18th and 19th. Crowd 20th. Winfield gets ahead of Sermon on the one towards the line to take 21st. DA 23rd. Sharbe 24th. And Asachenko, after going in the wall, is going to end up last. Alexander Kennedy and Cordova all DNF.
so here is EnVy Racing, the fourth champion of WTC and the third different after Dufar, Drake, and the EnVy joins them in the champions of the World Touring Car League.
Very interesting race. Munat won. Mendes fell apart. EnVy won the title. I mean, it's been predictable. About 8 rounds now. But there we go.
Yeah, and also Munat one of the drivers joins Ezio Mendes.
Of
And
course, his
Munat,
teammate Mendes.
yeah, so both of the EnVy drivers have a driver championship and now a team championship too. Yeah, well, EnVy did a really good job throughout the season. I don't think there was like any period where it was a question that EnVy could lose this title. Maybe in the like around the third, fourth rounds there was a little bit dip, but yeah, basically EnVy led the championship the whole season. Really strong performance. And I think Santos also locked in their second place.
Don't see any reason why they wouldn't. Looks
Yeah,
as if Victoria might be out the fight for third, but I don't think they are. With Balajan getting fastest lap and then finishing 8th and 11th.
yeah, and I think
Esther looked fairly strong for third, although obviously Mendes has a good chance in the sprint race, although I think so does Winfield, so we'll wait and see for that. Yeah, Winfield starts 4th, Lindgren 8th. Obviously, Balajan will start 14th, and Firmino will start 9th, so Victoria might need a bit of luck.
yeah, and Santos is runner-up again after season 1 when they raced under the Ice Rock Racing team name. They finished second again. Uh, well, hopefully they won't disappear into the midfield again like they did in season 2 with the run out. Yeah, and well, technically Projector can still stay up, but
And
uh,
they
actually
Betty
maybe
finished
no.
14th. 69 to 30. So Project R needs 39 points.
Yeah, I think
And
yeah,
the
it's not
max you can get from a
possible.
sprint race
27.
is 29 if you include fastest lap. So yeah, Project
Yeah,
R are now officially relegated. I know everyone had Project R's. Well, I know obviously Project R was just so quick. I mean, a whopping 2 points now for their last 9 races. I mean, they've been so quick all season. In fact, if we just like look at the numbers, if you take out like their decent early season performances, since we went to Alton Park, Alton Park, they have finished in the points just 3 times in 14 races. So they probably deserved.
yeah. Well, I mean, obviously Cosworth had that brilliant race in the Nürburgring, but yeah, but Cosworth was like a level above Projector the whole season, so it would have been unfair to see Projector or Cosworth going down.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that a team managed to stay up after getting back the entire season. Looking at Spurgeon
Yeah,
here.
yeah, they done it twice.
They've done it. That was only because they had Jerome Mathers, though. He was like the only competent part of that team, and somehow he was in endurance.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, I think that's not all from today, but tomorrow we still have actually three races. WTCL, ITC, and GTCL.
Of course, the JTCL. I mean,
Yeah,
JTCL is looking very interesting.
yeah, that will be uh, a title decided probably too.
America's pretty much has it tied up. Be interesting to see who gets second between Minas and Jensen.
Yeah, well, Ramakas is.
Oh, never mind. I misread it. I thought it said Jensen had 311, not 331. Yeah, no. I mean, Jensen could still do it. Might need some luck, but you never really know with these things. Especially with Ramakas having the innate ability to throw in an absolute shocker here and there. I mean, saying
Yeah,
that, Ramakas has finished on the podium in the last 6 races, although Jensen has won 4 of the last 5 races.
yeah, but
Minas will probably need a little bit of luck to win it from there.
yeah, but every driver but Ramakas is doing their first season in race cars. Ramakas has been around WTC since season one.
I mean, to be
Ramakas is
fair,
a
yeah.
season one champion actually. You
But
wouldn't
yeah,
say that.
no. I mean, to be fair, yeah. I mean, if you look further down, you had Harrison who was in the title fight, and then obviously he went to suffer at Flatland. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the ITC with Wisen on pole.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, on the topic of
yeah,
Harrison,
but
he's actually got himself a good starting position tomorrow, so we can't wait to see him fucking bottle it into turn 1, knowing him.
yeah, so
Starting 11th. Oh, no, to be fair, that entire row 6 is just cursed with Harrison alongside Witherspoon. But yeah, the freeway
yeah,
title, Vice and Suki and Knight in the drivers, they start 1, 2, 3, so it's going to be
yeah,
absolute
drivers will
steeds
be
in
interesting, but
ICL tomorrow.
the teams,
The teams is
yeah, looks to be
pretty much
decided.
set in stone. The only way I can see Baltica turning this around would be if somehow they like. I mean, the issue is Zerman starts at 9,
And
and he's got a lot of quick drivers ahead of him. They're going to need Weissen to blow up, and they're going to need a lot of luck on Zerman's end for
uh,
Well,
yeah, Ranga got
for
better
Baltica. I
chance.
mean, as for Langer, I mean, they're only 2 points behind Baltica. You've got Knight in third, Roseback in fifth. I can see Roseback and getting ahead of Grady. The real question is what will happen with Weissen and Suki if those two. We saw it in this race where Balajan and Amura, of course, those two went up at turn 1. Could that perhaps happen with Suki and Weissen? And if so, could Vanga snatch 1, 2, and then maybe Weissen ends up like what happened to Mendez, where he just constantly keeps dropping back and dropping back? Maybe. I mean, they might need some luck, but God is down in 16th, so it makes their job a little bit easier. Could happen, but they're going to need a bit of luck. So, but you don't really know. I mean, Weissen has bought a title in the past in Bahrain, so this wouldn't be the first time it's happened to him. But we'll have to wait and see tomorrow what actually ends up
Yeah,
happening.
yeah. So make sure to tune in tomorrow for all these races. So see you there, and until then, goodbye.